Hey guys, it's ProjectMak here again, bringing you another commentary. As I mentioned in my last video, guys, this kind of series we're going to be doing, we're going to be trying to work a little bit more closely with Curse and FPS General, which is its FPS website. Me and the guys in the team are going to be trying to release a video a week just kind of explaining a specific aspect of the Call of Duty world. This week I've chose to focus on professionalism. In my opinion, that's something that's becoming more and more important for ourselves as gamers, as we kind of strive towards, pushing what we do as a hobby into a kind of professional sport, which is what we'd all ultimately like, I think. This, I'd like to say at the start, this isn't aimed at anyone or any team in specific, and it's not me trying to say that I know more or I know everything that there is about being professional, because I'd be the first to admit that I don't. I've got lots of things I need to improve on, and in the past I've had my problems and I've tried to kind of sort it out. So the reason I'm doing this article is just to kind of offer a bit of general advice to people out there, from lessons that I've learned over the years, mistakes that I've made, so you can kind of take from it what you want. I'll just clarify what I mean at the start by professionalism, and this is just my opinion. I think you can define it as it's how you act and what you say. That's basically what it boils down to, in my opinion. So you've got to ask yourself, why is it important? So first and foremost, if we are trying to build and work towards pushing esports and Call of Duty towards a professional sport, then we need to try and show and grow and act and show that we can act more mature and professional as individuals. That's basically because the only way we're going to get this is with companies and organisations getting involved with the scene, and companies will basically look at individuals, and I mean you can kind of see examples of this at the moment, with Red Bull, for example, where Red Bull, they take time to kind of get announcements and things finalised, and I think that's a lot of it's down to making sure they've got the right man, basically. Like Nadeshot was announced, and you'll see if you read his Twitter, there is nothing ever on there. There's not really moaning, there's not really bitching or crying, doesn't really swear, he doesn't get personal with anyone, and that's that's something that's deliberate, and it's basically because companies do not want to run the risk of damaging their reputation and their brand by being associated with an individual like that. And what I would say as well with regards to this is that it's important that if we want to attract more mainstream media attention, they're going to want to invest in people. They're not going to want to invest in people that are going to potentially go off in racist or derogatory rants or have throw personal insults at each other over social media. That's not something they're interested in. So first, I'd like to acknowledge, obviously, that I'm not perfect. Neither of my team or neither of most of the scene. Everyone's got individual things that they can improve on. In my opinion, there's a couple of people that I look to as kind of the ideal, if you'd like to say that, and within Call of Duty itself. They would be Big Timer, Nadeshot and Rambo. These people, if you watch any of their interviews or any of their kind of social media stuff, they're very, very mature, very respectful, very professional. And you look at who they're associated with, most of them are making a living from gaming. The association with Optic and Envy and Red Bull and Astro, and these are big companies that are standing behind these individuals, and there's a reason for it, and it's because of how they act. I mean, if we take Red Bull specifically and look at the prophecy situation, I mean, it's been a long while going on with that, and that's maybe a case of Red Bull making sure they've got the right people that they want, and they wouldn't really be doing their due diligence if they weren't. And I've no doubt at all that they have got the right team, because in my opinion, Prophecy are the most professional team out there at the moment, from a European perspective. So I think that they're definitely doing the right thing. Organisations like that basically look at individuals and think, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is what they're going to be putting into this individual worth what they'll get out of it? And if they're going to be getting a potential risk, and people ranting and hurting their image, then it won't be worth it. So they have to make sure that they've got the right people for it. The reason why this kind of topic has gained so much limelight recently is mainly due to Gfinity, who I had the chance to do a couple of interviews over the weekend with, and met some of their kind of hierarchy, who I can say are all absolutely lovely guys. And they kind of, Warren specifically, I spoke to a lot, kind of let me know that Gfinity's number one priority when choosing teams was professionalism, even above recent placements. And I think people are kind of struggling to grasp this aspect, I think. But it's partially due to the kind of sponsors that they're being associated with, but more importantly the image that they're trying to create for themselves, which is, you know, a mature adult professional scene, instead of something that's bickering and swearing and childish. You know, that they want to be associated with the people who they can trust, basically. And what there's really just that's really the article, but there's one kind of final point, and it's something that I try to say to certain people in my team when they've got problems, and something I try and take to it when I'm going to post something on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube or anything. And that's basically when something gets you down in gaming, or, you know, you're frustrated, you're annoyed, you know, you've played a map, someone's gave you a hammering, and you want to go and vent and you want to go and rant over Twitter about it. You've got to think about what it is that you want to say or do about it initially. You know, do you want to make a video? Do you want to target this person? Do you want to subtweet them? Do you want to just go on a rant? You've got to think, what is it that you hope to get from doing that? Because there's got to be a reason for you doing it, and think of what impact is that going to have. So what are you actually going to get out of doing that? Are you going to get anything good out of ranting at somebody? Because if not, then you've got to ask yourself, is it ultimately worth doing it? It's really as simple as that. Is what you're saying worth it in the end? And 9 times out of 10 it won't be. So that's really the advice I try and give to anybody, is think about what you say. I mean, you wouldn't say most of the stuff I read on Twitter, you wouldn't say it when you're in work. So don't say it when you're trying to kind of, you know, play this game, and, you know, you're getting disappointed about missing out on things. You know, you've got to treat it as a job, basically. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about it, guys. I hope you found it useful. As always, please, you know, like, subscribe, favourite the video, and there'll be another one next week here. Cheers.